Rolling right along today, we're having a great show. We're going to go back on over to New Orleans and see what Brannon LeBouef has to say. Today he's going to talk to us about an interesting topic that's actually a reality, and that is possibly fighting for vehicles.
All right, so we're in the driver's seat, we're in the cockpit, and we get attacked. If at all possible, the best option is going to be 10 and 2, foot on the accelerator, and try to get out of there. Now, for those situations where that's just not possible, such as a disabled vehicle, or you're just in a traffic situation where you can't physically remove the vehicle and you're going to have to fight from the vehicle, here's some things we need to take into consideration. First off, where's the threat coming from? Is it coming from the front, rear, from either side, or the multiple attackers? We have to identify the threat. That's going to get our brain processing. What does our response need to be? We start getting in that problem-solving stage. Now, what is going to hamper our response? Obviously, different size vehicles are going to have different size workspaces. I know we're all wearing our seatbelts because it's the law pretty much everywhere, and it's just a smart thing to do. We have to get through the seatbelt. What you want to do is what I call swimming through the seatbelt. You're going to come in underneath the strap, reach down, make sure you're very familiar consciously. We're subconsciously familiar with it in our own vehicles, whether it's a top release, a side release, or a front push button release. But release the seatbelt and swim out of it so that the seatbelt strap is on the outside of your body. It's done and I'm free. There's no chance of getting hooked in it. If I come from the outside, then when I release it, it's still on my shoulder, and if I go to get out the vehicle, I can potentially get hooked up into the seatbelt. So I want to always, whether it's every time I get out of my seatbelt, I'm going to swim through it and get out of it this way. So I've cleared the seatbelt. Now I need to get to the gun. Where's the gun located? How are you carrying the firearm? For purposes of demonstration, I'm carrying it strong side in the waistband. Well, there's some give and takes with that. It's a little more comfortable for me personally. I'm good with it there. It's not really jugging me in the side, but the gun is at least partially trapped between my body and the seat. And if I have my console down, I'm also restricted to getting into it a little bit. So know your vehicle, know your environment, and get it to fit. There's some great options out there, like the RTI system from G-Code. There's some other quick detach systems where I can actually mount the gun to the vehicle somewheres. Again, you generally don't want to leave guns in your vehicle. Point is, think outside the box. But my gun's here, so I need to get to it. How am I going to get to it? Depending on where my threat's coming from, and I've noticed it, I've got to get off the seat. So getting off the seat is going to make the grip fully available to me. I could come in, establish a good grip, and draw. Now, once I draw, I want to try to get the gun into action as quickly as possible without muzzling myself or any of my passengers in the vehicle. Old school technique works great. It's just to come up and ride the steering wheel over the top with the muzzle, so no part of my legs is getting muzzled. I'm over. If I have a completely frontal attack, I can go ahead and engage from here through the windshield, or I could clear the steering wheel and kick back and engage through here. Also, I could come up, rotate muzzle up, and just punch straight out. The thing you want to watch there is, depending on how close you sit to your vehicle, to your steering wheel, you don't want to get the gun hung up in the steering wheel trying to do that. It needs to be close in and punch out. And at this way, I'm not muzzling myself. I'm coming right over my knee into a good firing position. Now, let's say I have a threat from the rear. If I'm right-handed and I have no passengers here, what I'm going to want to do is just come out. I can rotate muzzle up and just trace the wall. I could come over and engage single-handed, or I could rotate fully over and get a good, strong two-handed grip. Passenger side is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to draw and present to the threat. I could even back against the door and brace myself and engage that way. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you never know when someone's going to choose you as their victim. So you need to always be prepared to react and have a plan. Hey, get back! Drop the knife! What's going on? It can happen that fast. Know your environment, know your weapon system, and be prepared to react. As always, be vigilant, be prepared, and be safe.